So by definition, an investment is an asset or item acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation. So today, January 5, 2024, I'm about to make my first investment for the year, or stupid purchase, whichever way you want to look at it. So I look at every single camera-related purchase that I make as an investment or a stupid purchase, given the fact that I am a professional director and cinematographer here in the Philippines. I know that the word professional gets thrown around quite easily, but I say this with intent because the work that I do is the only thing that puts food on my table and pays for my bills. Well, that said, I purchased a DJI Osmo Pocket 3, completely unrelated to my work. As to what I'm gonna do with it, well, I decided to come back to my roots a little bit because as some of you may know, I started with a little bit of vlogging, a little bit of commercial work, a little bit of the two, and I think doing vlogs is quite a good practice for a lot of things, especially when it comes to filmmaking. So this is a tiny camera with a 1-inch sensor, which is stabilized by a mechanical gimbal. And the buzz surrounding these over the internet has been quite substantial, which made me really curious. So, too much jibber jabber, let's open it up and see what's inside. So inside the pouch, given that what I got is the creator combo, you are greeted with a silica gel. So the camera itself, to be honest, it feels like a toy compared to what I'm used to working with. I work with cinema cameras, Alexas, Reds, bigger cameras to be honest, which are attached to gimbals such as the Ronin 2. They have totally different use cases, and I bought this with the intention of, I don't know, vlogging and all of that, but this should be fun because it's so small. It's exactly the size of smaller than the size of my hand. Well, anyway, I'll put this all together and see how this goes. So I've finally finished all the updates and fully charged the camera. However, when I was done with it yesterday, it was already dark out. And I tried to bring it with me on my walk to jiu-jitsu class. However, I really didn't intentionally shoot with it. I was just shooting whatever. So that's what we're trying to do today. That's what I'm trying to do today. I'm gonna shoot with this camera intentionally. So yesterday I was able to test out the low light capabilities of the camera, but as I was walking, trying to vlog with it, I just realized, can I just say that trying to get back into the rhythm of vlogging is a motherfucker. So I'm not gonna get into the weeds about the technical aspect of this camera because you'll find a whole lot of that on YouTube to begin with. But what I'll tell you is the pros and cons and the use case for this camera, who I think it's for and who I would recommend it to. But don't judge the video quality right now because to be honest, I'm shooting on its auto exposure function because I don't have the proper ND filter for this yet. So I think, well, I already said that this is not a review. Did I say that? But anyway, this is not a review. So I'm just basing it from how I got the camera out of the box. But pros and cons of this camera. The first pro that I can see is that it's tiny, super tiny. Like I said, it's about the size of my palm. And what I like about this is that it's very unobtrusive. Unobtrusive, what did I just say? Unobtrusive. I mean, people wouldn't really mind you shooting with this, which gives you the chance to shoot on places that normally would probably require permits and all of that. Not saying that you should, but you can. This is quite smaller than a smartphone. It's only about 5.5 inches long, a little bit under 2 inches wide. It's tiny. Believe me, it's tiny. And that's my first pro of this one. The number 2 pro that I love about this camera is its video quality. It shoots in 4K 10-bit V-Log at up to 120 frames per second. What the hell do I even mean? It can shoot in slow motion at a very good quality, quite comparable to most DSLRs. and given its tiny form factor, those are really two great pros for this camera. So cons. There aren't too many cons that I can think of when it comes to this camera, because for the whole 24 hours that I've had it, I really like it so far. But if there's a con that I could just really think of, maybe two cons. The first is a pro and a con. This camera is mechanically stabilized, meaning that it doesn't crop in your image to stabilize the footage, but rather it's the whole camera itself that moves, or just the camera lens that moves to stabilize your image. But given that it's mechanically stabilized, there are moving parts, and moving parts mean that there's a chance of failure, and I think that is a con in the long run. The second con that I could think of, and to be honest, this is just me trying to find a con. This is not really a con, but it's the focal length that you have in this camera. What we have is only wide and wider. We don't have the ability to change the lens into maybe a little bit tighter, maybe a 35, maybe a 50. But that's just me nitpicking, because otherwise, I'm fine with it. If you really need a tight shot, go closer. So use case, and who would I recommend it to? Well, obviously this camera was built with a whole lot of vloggers and creators in mind, and to be honest, vlogging with this is very convenient. It's tiny, you know, I just carry it around with me all day and I just put it in my bag. Otherwise, if I'm not recommending it to creators or vloggers, would I recommend it to maybe a videographer who's trying to get a paid gig? Bad news, kids. I don't think this thing would get you a paid gig. Granted that it has good video quality, people who hire people to shoot videos, I don't think they'd take you seriously with this one, because it looks like a toy, it's tiny. And it shouldn't be a con, but I don't know, just being honest. So I was saying yesterday that I was debating between this or the Insta360 Ace Pro, which is also a very good camera. But the deciding factor for me to get this camera is really this. It's not gonna track, but it's the DJI Mic 2, Mic 3, probably Mic 2, I think Mic 2, DJI Mic 2. It has the ability to record in 32-bit float audio. Too much technical data again, but what is 32-bit float audio? It's like shooting in RAW video, if that's being even technical as well. How would I explain 32-bit float audio in layman's terms? Well, basically, that is a type of audio that you just basically leave and not think about your levels, because you have the ability to fix it in post. If you record your audio levels a little bit too high, let's say, for example, if I shout too hard right now, it's probably not gonna clip. Or if I speak a little bit too low, it's probably still gonna pick it up. Is that layman enough for you? Anyway, I'm almost home. Spent about 3 hours walking around my neighborhood trying to shoot videos with this one. And that's it for my first impressions in my unboxing. Did I really unbox it? My first impressions of this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 creator combo. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it. Is it a stupid purchase? Probably. Is it a good investment? I hope so. Which one will it be in the end? I don't know. Time will tell, friends. Till then.